Quitting isn't easy. Now, let's talk about what you should do if the disability carrier has denied or terminated your disability benefits on the basis that you can do sedentary work. And I'm going to tell you potentially some tricks of the trade here, okay? Now, what's important here is that there are many people who are knowledge workers or systems engineers or computer coders or C-suite executives. They all have occupations that require them to sit all day. And a job is sedentary if you have to sit for more than 6 hours a day. So if you are any one of those do any of those occupations, many disability carriers are going to deny a disability claim on the basis that you can still do your own job, or that you've had this condition for years and nothing has changed, or that you have great skills that you've learned as a systems engineer, a computer coder, or a C-suite executive that you can take to other sedentary occupations. So they're going to use your experience and training against you. Now, if you aren't a knowledge worker or someone whose job is primarily sedentary, the disability carrier is going to create an opinion from their liar for hire doctors that you're capable of sedentary work, and they'll have their vocational evaluator corroborate that there's other work that you can do of a sedentary nature in view of your in view of your education and skills. Age is not a factor in an ERISA disability case. So if you now get a denial letter, I want you to think about some of the reasons why the denial might be wrong. In fact, I think there are 5 reasons why that denial might be wrong. The first reason that the denial might be wrong is that the disability carrier has misclassified your occupation as sedentary, when your occupation, in fact, requires activity that's non-sedentary. So, for example, if you have to travel as part of your occupational duties, that occupation is not sedentary. Now, they also may have misclassified your occupation as sedentary when your occupation requires you to get up and change positions frequently. The disability carrier commonly ignores cognitive requirements of your occupation and your medical condition that can impact your cognitive functioning. And that means in all 3 of those situations, you don't necessarily have skills that would transfer to other types of sedentary work. Now, fourth, the disability carrier can ignore or dismiss your complaints of pain, fatigue, and the side effects of medication. In fact, it's common that they don't even mention them. And the 5th mistake is that they dispute your symptoms and the impact of those symptoms on your ability to do the material and substantial duties of your occupation. So if you have a sedentary occupation to begin with, these are some of the 5 things that carriers will do to say you can still do sedentary work, you've got enough skills, and you can take those skills to other sedentary occupations. Now, there are also several reasons why the denial on the basis that you can do sedentary work might be wrong if, in fact, your past occupations have not been sedentary in nature. The carrier will still misclassify your occupation as it relates to the skills that you might have. That's important because your skills have to transfer in terms of work from whatever work level you did, maybe it was medium or light, to sedentary. And so a lot of skills that you might have just wouldn't transfer because of the nature of your occupation and the nature of your restrictions and limitations. And additionally, carriers continue to ignore, particularly if you have back issues, any requirement or need for you to get up and change positions frequently. They always ignore cognitive functioning. They never discuss pain, fatigue, side effects of medication. And they really dispute, as I've said, the nature of your restrictions and limitations, because their goal is to say, look, yeah, in fact, you can do light work. And even if you can do sedentary work, any of these claimed need to alternate sitting and standing just doesn't impact your ability to do the material and substantial duties of other occupations. So we've got 5 standard reasons, I think, that the disability carrier is wrong in this argument that you can do sedentary work. But the ultimate issue, of course, is what proof do you have to submit to overcome this sedentary occupational denial? I think the proof takes 5 forms. First, I think there should be an affidavit from you that's drafted in consultation with an experienced ERISA disability attorney that addresses not only the physical and cognitive, material, and substantial duties of the term as that's defined in your policy, but explain how your symptoms impact your ability to do each one of those duties. So I have my clients make a list of the duties, their symptoms, and the impact on the functionality. Secondly, I think you have to have a functional capacity evaluation to establish objectively the physical restrictions and limitations and your inability to do sedentary occupations. And as part of that, you want your FCE provider to address the liar for hire insurance company doctor's opinions about your restrictions and limitations and why their conclusion that you can do sedentary occupations are wrong. If you're having cognitive issues, thirdly, you want to have a neuropsychological evaluation and testing to address your cognitive problems and why you can't do the cognitive aspects of your occupation or any other occupation. If you are still at the own occupation stage, we want to get a letter or affidavit from your doctor that outlines and endorses the restrictions and limitations and the functional capacity evaluation and tie that together with a vocational evaluator's opinion that establishes why you can't do not only your own occupation, but any sedentary occupation. We also want to have that vocational evaluator tie up what the material and substantial duties might be of your occupation or any dumb occupations that the carrier's VE has concluded that you're capable of doing. Because more often than not, the disability carrier's liar for hire VE misapprehends the physical requirements or the cognitive requirements or the social behavioral requirements of the dumb jobs that they have identified as being alternatives. And more often than not, they also don't understand that the sedentary nature of these alleged jobs is in fact hypothetical and mythical and not really as how the occupation potentially is performed. So we want to be able to establish the medical reasons why you are functioning at less than sedentary. We want that based on objective findings of a functional capacity evaluation. We want that corroborated by your report of symptoms and functionality. And we want that all tied together in a big bow, if you will, in the box with the opinion of a vocational evaluator. As you can see, this proof takes teamwork and the leadership of an experienced ERISA disability attorney who isn't really afraid of disability carriers and knows how to take on disability carriers, particularly this bogus sedentary occupation denial. Got it? Let's take a break.
Are you a professional with questions about your individual disability policy? You need the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. This book gives you a comprehensive understanding of your disability policy with tips and to-dos regarding your disability application that will assist you in submitting a winning disability application. This is one you won't want to miss. For the next 24 hours, we are giving away free copies of the Disability Insurance Claim Survival Guide for Professionals. Order yours today at disabilityclaimsforprofessionals.com.